Hi there, this is Derek Shumway. I'm your host today on our DollarProbs podcast. Today is Thursday, August 27th, 2020. Right now it is 4:32 p.m. I intended to start this podcast a little bit earlier, actually a lot earlier, like a week ago, but after life and work and jobs and school and everything, I got pushed up to right now. And today's podcast, we're bringing you all up to speed on what's happened to culminate to today. In about a half hour, less than half an hour, at 5 o'clock, I have my first meeting with my first intern of the semester. And we're going to go over the introductions and the onboarding and figuring out how to get everything set up and what the expectations are. And he doesn't know it yet, but he will be a part of this podcast. I hope he will be a part of this podcast because that would be kind of sad if he wasn't a part of it, working here at DollarProbs. But I'm super excited to do this, and I will let you know that it's probably obviously quite obvious that this is quite nerve-wracking stuff. I had to do this opening take where I said, "Hi there, this is Derek Shumway. I'm your host today," and all that stuff about 10 times because I think we forget how hard it is or how scary it is to open up a podcast or open up an introduction or whatever you're going to say on video, especially when you know you're recording something. Then you get super nervous and you mess up, and for some reason you just start speaking Chinese or something. And well, good thing I don't know Chinese. Well, I guess it's not a good thing. It's actually quite sad. So tonight's meeting, though, is we're going to talk about what we have for the beginning goals for the first few weeks. I've hired one intern this semester. He's brand new. I have not met him before. We've only talked on the phone and exchanged emails and texts there. I actually had like 6 interns that I had hired, offered the internship, and then a few weeks ago, as we got closer leading up to the fall semester here at UVU, they canceled and had other plans and stuff there. And so that's okay. It happens, stuff there. And this fall, we just have one intern. In the past, I've had 3 interns during during the semester usually. But overall, this is my 9th intern. I'd say my 10th official one, but one kind of disappeared. So at the beginning, so we just don't know what happened to him. Actually, we were with him for a little bit, then just a little bit absent there. But so I guess an official, maybe official sense of actual working, this is my 9th intern this semester that I've hired, and this will be my 3rd semester working with UVU as an accredited employer in their internship program. And DollarProbs is actually turning into a whole different company. Before, everyone who knew what it was, in these last 2 years, we'd been working to build it as a online services and gigs website, kind of like those classifieds jobs websites where you can get on and post a job and offer a job, and so you can make money both ways and stuff. And I did that for about 2 years. Our company birthday was just last month. It's July 18th, 2018. And I found that it is a lot harder to not just start a business, but to start a website. They're actually quite difficult and stuff. And a lot of people who I've talked with, we get progress updates and talk about, okay, how's it coming? And, you kind of just tell them the thing on the outside where you just, give the good story and stuff. But gosh, on the inside, it is stressful and you hope things are going to work out. There's links and buttons that you're trying to get to work there. But I did have some great web developers, though. And it's just that financially, I did not do a good job marketing and getting this out and getting people to use it. At its height, I had the website to where about 100 users were signed up on it. I think they're like 93 official, 93 or 94, including me and my family. So that was a nice little mini chunk of it there. And it just wasn't used very much, and I poured a lot of money into it, and I put as much love as I could into it. But then after a while, and as school happened and stuff, I realized, well, let's scale this back and start over and try something else. So DollarProbs 2.0, we are jumping industries completely and going into we're going from the services, online services and gigs, into the I guess if you would be super fancy, the energy and renewables / electricity / household business. Basically, in a nutshell, DollarProbs has now been or is being converted into a light bulb delivery company. We want to deliver LED light bulbs. We want to buy LED light bulbs for as cheap as we can and sell them to people for as high as we can. I think that's what every business tries to do, of course. You buy something for as cheap as you can, obviously, and to save money and costs and operations and all that stuff. And then you sell it for the best price possible where the most people will buy it, of course. And this has come a long ways. It's not that hard, actually, to transition a company from one industry to another, even though that's mind-boggling to change. I mean, I think of other big stores and think, well, what if they switched into this whole different arena? Wouldn't that be weird to imagine if Walmart turned into a restaurant, or if I don't know. There's lots of examples there and stuff where you think of your local hardware store, or even if a gas station turned into a technology hub where people went to go buy computers at the gas station and laptops. That would be weird and stuff. So that's what we're doing. We've jumped completely from one end of the spectrum to the other in a whole different industry, from online websites to selling light bulbs and stuff. I got the inspiration for this because last year I was talking to a new friend I made at another friend's wedding, and we were just sitting there at the table during the reception. I said, "Oh, well, what are you up to? Are you in school or work, or whatever?" And he said, "Oh, I'm an electrician. I'm working to be a journeyman, or I am a journeyman. I can't remember there, but he does electrical stuff." And me being, curious and everything, I asked him. I probed deeper, and I said, "Well, tell me about this work and stuff. Like, what's like the?" I said, "What is the latest industry right now? What's the trend in the electric world and stuff? Like, what's happening? I don't know. Any new innovations or what?" And he told me, he said, "Well, the thing is that right now homeowners are crazy about LED light bulbs. Everyone loves LEDs. They save energy. They're efficient, and they're bright, and they're white, and they're light." And I said, "That's so interesting stuff." And he said, "Well, yeah, I think there's potential. I think there is demand for that." And so I did some research. I went back home and I thought about it, and I Googled up a lot of stuff. I mean, I can Google anything. I'm a Google expert. You tell me anything, and I can just search it right up and find some information, videos, and articles and everything. And I thought about it, and then months passed by. Now here we are, like about a little over a year since that conversation at the wedding, and now I decided I'm going to convert my business into an LED light service, an LED light delivery company. And it's quite simple. All we want to do is just buy light bulbs and sell them to people and deliver them to their houses. We're thinking about turning it or installing the light bulbs, actually giving it to them and taking it in the house and unscrewing the light things in the ceilings and then putting it in. But because of coronavirus and the pandemic and all that stuff and social distancing and the risk of infection, I'm not sure about that. I mean, the liabilities and the paperwork, the waivers and stuff, that's a lot to handle. And when I think about my normal school schedule and work with my other jobs and stuff there, then I don't know if I just want to take on that risk and liability. It might just be better to deliver at your front door, like Amazon or the Walmart deliveries and stuff there, the curbside pickup and stuff like that. So let's see. I mean, now I've got everything set up for our first meeting tonight. I'm super excited to see my intern. His name is Matthew, and I've been thinking about the whole week, the whole month, ever since I hired him and stuff there, about how we can do this. And only, I would say, like 2 weeks ago did I get the idea of starting a podcast. And as easy as it sounds, or as hard as it sounds, it is both of those at the same time there. I thought you have to have a whole bunch of fancy equipment to do a podcast and weird stuff there. But all you need to do is just have like your voice recorder app on your phone, or a podcast software, which is just a podcast app or account you can sign up for. So I signed up for one, super easy, and I did choose to do the paid plan instead of the free one, so I can talk for more than 5 minutes and stuff there. And I did buy a little microphone on Amazon. I bought like it's called like a duo, like they're two lavaliers, the lapel ones that clip onto your shirt and stuff there, so you can have you and someone else, like a co-host or guest or someone. But right now it's just me and my iPhone, and I have a microphone plugged in because I found it to be slightly better quality, and I just push the red button on my record app, and now it's recording. And then I've edited it just a tiny bit, but threw in some music and then pushed the thing into the atmosphere online in the world of the internet, and here you are listening to me. So it's really not that hard, actually, and you can do it for free almost, really. But then again, just like any business, there's no limit to how much you spend on your business. You could spend $1,000 getting fancy equipment, but for a small little two-time Main Street entrepreneur like myself, this is a perfect setup here. Super easy and portable there. Now, as I'll explain in the future podcast more towards the beginning, rather than now here at 11 and a half, 12 minutes into the podcast and stuff, the way that this podcast works is we're actually going to follow the real progress of this startup, this new startup. It's the same name, but a different industry. So we're keeping the same name, but we're doing completely different, starting all over in a different industry, selling light bulbs, of course. And every time that we meet, we're going to have weekly meetings with my intern and I, and working throughout the week, lots of remote work. A little bit of in-person work is what we've planned for, is what I hope to do. But a lot of it is video conferencing and digital communication there. And as we make progress, or as we don't make progress, I suppose, there, we're going to talk about that here in the podcast. I'm going to say, okay, here's what happened this week. Here's how a real, actual startup works. This is what it's actually like to start a business. This is what it's like to try to work with other people and try to make money while you have a real job and while you do other stuff and while you try to keep up and be that millennial that you're supposed to be there and doing everything you need to and being social and stuff there. And so it's quite a busy lifestyle. Right now I have 3 official jobs. I guess maybe if you count this podcast, you could call it 4 jobs to edit and publish that. That might be a mini part-time job on the side there, so maybe like 4.5 jobs. But my first job, obviously, is I am the founder of DollarProbs, and I am over this startup, and I oversee everything and help make sure that whatever I can get done, whether it's by me or with other people, that we get that taken care of and make progress in the company and grow it, and hopefully we can earn revenue. So this is like being, I guess if you want to be super fancy, this weird title called the CEO. It's like the second CEO of the company, even though it's like I'm the same CEO, same founder, just trying, a different thing there. And it was really hard it's a lot of work to make a new name for a company, and if you want to go far and get the trademark, like we got the trademark for DollarProbs, and get all the internet domains, DollarProbs.com, DollarProblems.com, DollarProbs with a Z at the end, and DollarProps and Provs, and all those different misspells, and catch all those and own those and buy those. So I just didn't want to do all that paperwork, and all the other good names I thought of were taken, so it was a little hard to take their name and stuff. So I thought, let's just keep the DollarProbs and retrofit it to a different name. Now, as we go through, you'll see that certainly some of this will be good and some of this will be bad. I honestly am not sure what the future will be of the podcast in terms of the content exactly, because obviously, you're just going to have to stay tuned to see whether or not we make a sale. So, I don't know if we'll make a sale. We're going to try to make a plan. We're going to try to sell this out, but I honestly cannot tell you, as one of the first few listeners of this podcast, since this is our first official podcast, marking the first official day of work at this Startup 2.0. This is my second startup here. I don't know exactly what the future will be, but I hope it will be bright. And I hope that things work out well with the intern. Obviously, I actually, confessions of a founder, he does not know that he is the only worker. I don't know if that's deceptive or not. I mean, part of it honestly is because you're afraid that if you only let them know, okay, well, now everyone else bugged out and they're doing something else, so you're the only one left, that might not instill the best confidence, and so they might leave too. And then